Hi, I'm Brittany, and welcome to Proverbs Study. So today we are in Proverbs 6:6, and this is a continuation of a thought, and I would say that it's in the same vein of encouragement. And so, just to review, we've been knowing that we should not be the co-signer on somebody else's debt. We know why. And now we know how to deliver ourselves from that. And so in Proverbs 6:6, it tells us to observe something. But I'm going to start with 5 to give us just the intro to this. So it says, deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Proverbs 6:6 says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. And so it just encouraged us to be that alarm clock for that person, because you got yourself in a situation and you made an agreement with somebody to be the co-signer on their debt. That means their debt collectors are going to come after you. And so to get yourself out of the situation, you, in verse 4, shouldn't sleep, right? Don't sleep and don't avoid the situation with sleep. And then in verse 5, deliver yourself from the hand of the hunter and from this trap that you got yourself into. Now it says, go to the ant. So this is an example of one of the things that God tells us to do often in Proverbs, to make an observation. So to stop what you're thinking about and to stop and look at what he tells us to look at. So he's saying, go to the ant, right? What about this ant? And then he says, thou sluggard. So he's calling us a sluggard because he just warned us, don't give sleep, don't give lazy sleep or indolent slumber, which is a slumber that you use to avoid hard situations or avoid work. And so now it's going into that same vein. It starts talking about, listen, this is why we can't be lazy. This is why we can't be a sluggard. So go to the ant. And what do we see when we go to the ant? So go is yalach, just means to go. This is all very straightforward. L is to, so go to the direction of, according to that standard. So look at the standard of the ant. This sounds crazy, right? But look at the standard of the ant. And this is amazing because God put this standard inside the ant because he created everything, right? So the ant is namala, and that's just ant. Thou sluggard is astal, which is sluggish or lazy. Okay, this is the Hebrew. Consider, which is ra'al. What did you see when you went to the ant? What did you learn to know, or what did you observe? What did you give attention to, and what did you discern? So if you are outside, or if you're close to being outside, go on outside and find an ant, okay? Look at it right now. Or just think about the times when ants have ravaged your home. We've all been having problems with ants this year. If you live on the East Coast, I don't know about anywhere else in America, but it's been wild. And so I thank God that the weather switched to get rid of all this. So anyways, the ants are not as active, but they were super active. And I was just like, dang, they're so persistent. As soon as we dropped a little tiny thing on the floor, they were there immediately. We were like, what is going on? Where are they coming from? As soon as we leave a bit of syrup on the table, they're there. So we're like, oh my goodness. And so I'm thinking about, when I'm reading this, dang, they were so persistent. So then the Bible says, look at the habit of this animal, her ways, which is derek. Her ways, the habit of this animal. What was the habit of this animal? Persistence is what I noticed. I also noticed diligence. I also noticed teamwork. They go in a straight line. I heard that they leave a trail, and that trail attracts other ants to the same trail so they can go to the food that that first ant or the first group of ants found. They're organized. There's just so many things to observe. So you can make your own observations, put them in the comments. And then it says, and be wise. And when we look at what that word is, hakam, it means compare. Compare, because this verse just called us a sluggard, right? Not to attack us, but to show us, to correct us. If we are being lazy, if we are sleeping to avoid something, what do we need to do? Compare our ways to this diligence, this persistence, this organization, this teamwork, this structure that the ants have. Now I can't see what they're building. They're coming through the side of my house. I can't see, where they go. Now that they're not here anymore, I'm sure they're in the ground somewhere and built up some type of structure. But they're very organized, because now that it's cold and they're not in here, I know that all them little crumbs that they took back to their nest are being used for some purpose, because they were diligent about getting that. And so tomorrow we'll get into what the ants actually do, but I think it's needful for us to really consider, do what the Bible is telling us to do, and consider, compare, be wise about comparing, taking an honest observation and inventory of our actions and what we have done up to this point. Now that it's wintertime, or now that it's a certain season in your life, now that things are a certain way, what is the inventory that you can compare to the ant? Did I do what I needed to do to have what I need right now? Did I put things in place so that my life can flow a certain way right now? Did I prepare properly for the season that I'm in? This is a very sobering thought process, activity for us to do, because it's necessary for us to understand that this is wisdom. When we take the time to do what the Bible tells us to do, even if we don't like that it called us, for those of us who are offended because the Bible called you a sluggard, God corrects those he loves. And if he didn't call us what he knows that we are being at the time, we wouldn't come out of it. And so we're being corrected so that we can understand we can come out of this. We don't have to stay here. So I hope this helped you. Let me know in the comments what you think about this lesson. This was very sobering for me and very helpful in correcting. And let me know what it did for you. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.